Hello, I'm Dr. Lourdes Baezconde Garbanati, and I am a faculty member in the Department of Preventive Medicine at the Keck School of Medicine at the University of Southern California. And I am delighted to speak to you today about some of my work and some of the work that we're doing in our social sciences lab at USC. And most of my work really focuses on health disparities with a focus on Latino populations. And I oversee multiple projects at USC. One of the projects that I work on is part of the Center for Tobacco Regulatory Sciences among Vulnerable Populations, which is directed by Dr. John Samet and Dr. Marianne Pence. And I have what is called an R01, which is a research grant that is awarded by the National Cancer Institute within the center. And here are pictures of several of the investigators that work with me on this project. And essentially, we're looking at issues of tobacco regulation, which includes a project on retailers. So we're going out to tobacco retailers in various communities. So here are some of the individuals you would interact with if you were part of this project in our Tobacco Regulatory Science Center. One other aspect of my work takes me to work in a very multidisciplinary fashion with the Annenberg School of Communication, as well as the USC School of Cinematic Arts. And through those mechanisms, I have two other projects I have worked on. One is Tamale Lesson, which is a film on cervical cancer for Hispanic women. And I worked on that project with Dr. Sheila Murphy, who is at the Annenberg School of Communication, as well as with Dr. Doe Mayer and Jeremy Kagan from the USC School of Cinematic Arts. And anyone that joins that project, which is now moving into a new phase, which is most of the dissemination phase of the project, would be working on issues related to the development of educational materials such as these very innovative materials. One other project that I work with in this team is called Es Tiempo. And Es Tiempo is a natural reminder that when the jacaranda tree blooms in California, which you have seen that blooming purple tree between April and June, it's time for women to come in and either find out if they need to get their HPV vaccine or if they need to come in for a pap test. So those are just some sample projects of what we have been doing more recently. But the goals of most of my research are to really correct health disparities. Most of my research engages communities in participatory research. So anyone in our lab would actually be engaged in more community-based and participatory type of work. Our intent is really to build bridges between communities and academia. So we really want students to become very, very much engaged in the type of work that we're doing. Those that become part of our lab will be exposed to qualitative methods and strategies, quantitative research methods, as well as looking at mixed methods approaches. Students will learn about developing bibliographic research, about community-based and community-based participatory research, a bit about regulatory sciences, and the role of culture in behavioral changes that we are attempting at the community level. So what are we looking for? We're looking for very passionate, creative students, those students that really think outside the box, actually blow up the box. We're interested in vulnerable populations, students that want to work in vulnerable populations. If you speak Spanish, that certainly is a plus. If you're also bilingual and bicultural, that is certainly another plus, but you don't have to be to join our lab. We really want students that want to give something back to their community. So there are various projects if you decide to join our social sciences lab. One is you could work on our Center for Health Equity in the Americas. You could also be involved in obesity-related research at the community level, as well as on women's cancer, such as cervical cancer, such as the programs as Es Tiempo and Tamale Lesson that I mentioned, and also on tobacco regulation and control, which includes components of e-cigarettes, as well as not just tobacco retailers, but also working in vape shops. So we hope that you decide to come and join us so that you are part of the Keck School of Medicine of USC. And we're delighted with this collaboration and this opportunity to work with California State University Long Beach on the BUILD project. Thank you.